Alright folks, time to do my predictions for UFC 177. And you know, it's a good thing this event is being held at the Sleep Train Arena in Sacramento, California, because from the looks of it, this card is going to put everybody to sleep. Yeah, this is really one of the most disappointing overall cards I've seen in a long time. Obviously, it has a lot to do with all the injuries going on, but still, this is just an absolute dreadful show from top to bottom. I'm kind of wondering why anyone in their right mind would spend, excess of $50 on this to view it. But I don't know, maybe this is it. Maybe this will be kind of the catalyst for the UFC to switch over to something a little bit more lucrative, something kind of akin to the WWE network, that whole online component where you get charged like $20 a year or $50 a year and you get to watch all the pay-per-view shows online through their own mechanism. Because this is not going to be sustainable. I dare to fathom how few pay-per-view buys this is going to get, but no one cares about finances. Let's just move on to the card itself. Main event, Bantamweight Championship, TJ Dillashaw taking on Renan Barao. Barao is obviously a guy who just beat the crap out of everybody for a couple of years, and then he took on Dillashaw and just got the utter religion knocked out of him for a couple of rounds. So TJ Dillashaw going in as a champion. Rematch against Barao. I really don't know what happened to Barao in the last fight because he's been so dominant using that Jose Aldo light technique. But Dillashaw, he went in there. He was able to kind of keep the distance and swarm in. And I think because he was swarming in so much, Barao, who's probably, used to guys kind of keeping their distance and then going for the knockout, he wasn't used to being the guy who's actually being bullied. So in this fight, I think Barao will do moderately better than he did in the last matchup, but I still think at the end of the day, this is something that Dillashaw should have this in the bag. I think he's going to go in there. He's going to be very strategic first couple of rounds. It may even be kind of competitive for the first 10 minutes, but I think it's only a matter of time before Barao gasses out and Dillashaw lays on the heavy hands. And I predict Dillashaw to win this fight. TKO, fourth round, and from there, who knows where the bantamweight division is going. Our co-main event, and keep in mind this is a $50 plus pay-per-view card they want you to pay money for. Our co-main event is Tony Ferguson against Danny Castilla. They want you to pay $50 for this. That is an absolute travesty of all kinds of justice. But since it's happening, it's could be a semi-entertaining lightweight matchup, but actually I'm not even going to dignify this one with a pick. I'm going to go with Castilla, because it's stupid. The fact that these guys are getting a light-out treatment is just utterly absurd. Women's bantamweight matchup, you got Beth Correa taking on Shayna Baszler. Who cares? I'm going to go with Correa by second round TKO. A lightweight matchup, Ramsey Najim taking on Carlos Diego Ferreira. I don't even know who Carlos Diego Ferreira is. Did he win Latin American Tough Enough or something? Well, anyway, I'm going to go with Najim because why not? Unanimous decision. We only have 4 fights on the main card, so obviously we're probably gonna have something promoted. Looks like we got Yancy Medeiros versus Damon Jackson. This might be the one saving grace of the show because if you don't know Damon Jackson, he's a really, really bad dude from the indie circuit, and I think he's gonna really make a name for himself when he goes in there and knocks out Yancy Medeiros in the first round. So keep an eye out for that. That's my big silver star pick for this upcoming show. The prelims that you don't really care about, you got Lorenz Larkin taking on Derek Brunson. I'm going to go with Larkin by second round submission. Flyweight, you got Scott Jorgensen taking on Henry Cejudo. I don't even know who Cejudo is, so I'm going to go with him to win by unanimous decision. Heavyweight matchup, Ruan Potts taking on Anthony Hamilton. I'm not really familiar with either of these guys, so I'm going to go with Ruan Potts because it just sounds like a deadly name, Ruan Potts. Like he was born, like his mom was a ceramics maker and his dad was like a serial killer. I like that. And bantamweight matchup, Joe Soto taking on Anthony Burchak. Soto, probably the favorite, so I'm going to go with Burchak because, we need upsets. And if you're on the UFC Fight Pass, which I guess is their WWE Network equivalent, hopefully they'll exploit that more in the future. You got Chris Wade taking on Kane Corozzo, and I don't know who these guys are, so I'm going to go with Chris Wade because he's a combination of Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. That's my sole reason for picking them. Why not? I don't care about these fights. Nobody cares about these fights. It's a horrible card. It's a terrible show. And I don't even know why I'm doing a prediction video because if this is the future of the organization, maybe it's time we all found a new respective hobby, y'all.